welcome to the stage your hosts for Momentum Voices for Change, Khy Garner and Kyrus Keenan Westcott.
Hello, brother.
Khy, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be here with you, with these incredible artists that we have here today, and with our good friend tickling those keys today as well. It's a good day to be here.
Awesome. So much has happened since the last time we have spoken.
Yes.
And anything new and exciting happening with you?
I think this has been a pretty low-key week in the news, I think. To say the least. No, I mean, listen, everything has been, this momentum is starting to get momentum, right? We were just backstage meeting and Teddy just kind of talking about what we can do to use this show to our advantage. We have tons of ideas that we want to do, and I'm excited, man. I'm really excited.
Mm-hmm. Yep, looking forward to finding out what's going to pop out of my brain next.
Yes.
So, without further ado, we'd like to begin the show and bring on our two beautiful resident performers, Tay and Howard, who will start us off with the Lift Every Voices.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the
If I'm not mistaken, I think Howard just, didn't he write that?
I think he did write that, yes.
That's how gifted. He just wrote that arrangement. Fabulous. Thank you, Howard. Thank you. So, this first artist I'm very excited to bring to you. His name is Jeff. And I met Jeff years ago. I can't remember what show it was that I met him in. I want to say it was Full Monty. Is that right, Jeff? Full Monty, maybe? And he was outstanding when I saw him. So we've been on Facebook friends for years, and I wanted him to be a part of this. And just to give you a little read of him. So Jeff was born and raised in Morris County, New Jersey, and currently resides in Westwood. He's an actor, singer, and tap dancer, and has been performing for 25 years. Notable performances of Mice and Men, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Exonerated, Smokey Joe's Cafe, Full Monty, there it is, and most recently, Don't Bother Me. He's also worked with Savion Glover at the New York City Center. He teaches tap in the tri-state area. Please welcome this young man as he comes and blesses us with his magnificent talent. broken after 30 seconds. That was extraordinary.
Thank you.
What started you in the journey of hoofing the tap? Like, what brought that in for you?
Well,
Catch your
I was going to say, excuse me.
Catch your breath.
Well, I started tap dancing late in life. I was 20. Yeah, I used to dance here and there growing up, but I saw a show on Broadway, bringing the noise, bringing the funk. And when I was coming up, boys always got teased for dancing, so I never did it. So when I saw bringing the noise, bringing the funk, it was all guys up there tap dancing. And they put this cutting edge kind of style to it. And I was like, man, that's so cool, I want to do that. So then I started training with Savion Glover's cousin. His name is Omar Edwards. And Omar took me under his wing. He taught me a lot. And the best part about that is he never charged me. I took class with him, or I took privates with him for about 1.5 years. And he never charged me a dime. So that was his way of giving back to the community. And so I started training with him, and then I auditioned for New Jersey Tap Ensemble. And I started growing more with them, and then I started teaching, and it pretty much went from there. And here I am today. Yeah.
Man, so, because someone was good to you, and what's your way of giving back to the community? Like, what do you, have you embraced up-and-coming little kids? Like what is it that you do to give back?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I try to do the same thing. I try to give back to the community, but I try to give to the kids who really want it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's kids who think they want it and they realize they don't.
Right.
And I'm okay with that because they're trying to find themselves. But it's the same thing because people were saying that tap is a dying art form, so we're trying to keep it alive.
Right.
So that's one of the ways to try to keep it alive is just giving back. Yeah. Yeah.
When I started off teaching, I was in Maplewood, and I had a young student. You might even know him, Maurice Chestnut.
Chestnut, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know
Little boy, and he went out and did that, and floored me, like absolutely floored me. Because I took tap when I was young, but I wasn't, please, not like you guys, like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I understand what you mean by like the dying art form, because we just don't see this anymore.
Right.
And if we are watching tap shows, it's 42nd Street, the basics. But like seeing this old style hoofing mixed with tap, like you have great solid technique.
Yeah.
Did you study at all with a formal teacher in your?
Yeah. I mean, I had also trained with Deborah Mitchell, who is the artistic director of New Jersey Tap Ensemble. And she was trained by a phenomenal tap dancer who's passed on. His name was Leslie Bubba Gaines. And he was one of the original members of the Copacetic, who was the group under Bill Bojangles Robinson. So she learned from him. And it was actually a similar situation where he actually, I don't know if she didn't pay him or if he charged her like very little. But it was the same situation where he told her he wanted her to give back to the community. Same kind of thing, so.
Well,
Yeah.
watching you has just been one of the highlights of my life when I first saw you.
Yeah.
And I was trying to remember where it was.
I think it was full
It
Monty.
was full.
Yeah.
You played a
horse.
And I think that you were in the show with my good friend AJ Meeker.
Yeah.
And I remember going, who is this man tapping his face off, and like the way you just look at your ankles. Like, do you hear those rhythms each time you're like what is that when you're doing these complicated and intricate rhythms? Do you hear them?
Yeah, I hear them. Sometimes I explore. You know what I mean? Sometimes like I'll hear a rhythm and I'm like, okay, I can do that. And then I'll hear another rhythm, I'm like, I'm gonna try this, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I just gotta go for it, So yeah.
Man, thank you so much for gracing us with your gift today, and I look forward to following you. I stalk you on Facebook to see what you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, please, one more time, give it up for Jeff Foote.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That would never come out of my body.
I can barely walk to my car without falling over my feet, let alone do what he did, man. God bless him and his skill and his ability, for real.
All right. So I would love to bring out our resident artist, Howard Whitmore, to grace us with song. Howard is going to continue being with Momentum for as long as he'd like, just being our resident male artist, along with Tay being our resident female artist. And later we'll hear more from them. But right now, I'd like to hear Howard sing it for us.
Someday I'm gonna do you wrong. Someday I'll leave you blue. Someday I'm gonna steal your heart. Someday I'll rip it right in two. But someday just ain't here yet, and I'm still stuck on you. So let's just say we got today and do what lovers do. Some night I'm gonna hurt you bad. Some night I'll cause you pain. Some night I'm gonna leave you dry and crying in the rain. But some night just ain't here yet. And boy, you're looking good. So let's pretend the night won't end and act like lovers should. Someday I'm gonna do you wrong. Someday I'll leave you blue. Someday I'm gonna steal your heart. Someday I'll rip it right in two. But someday just ain't here yet, and I'm still stuck on you. So let's just say we've got today. Let's just say we've got today. Let's just say we've got today and do what lovers do. What lovers do. Oh, oh.
I met this young man through some mutual students, and he reached out to me, and we struck up a conversation, and we just talked about music and art, and now he is actually studying with me. I don't know how that happened. He was also on the Chinese tour of Dreamgirls, along with our resident artist, Ted. This young man's voice is incredible, but a jazz personified. Please welcome Victor Days.
Take much to turn a girl into a woman. Not with all of the experience I've had. Don't take much to turn a girl into a woman, and it don't take much to turn a woman bad. Take much to turn a no into a maybe. Not with all the charm and cunning I possess. Don't take much to turn a no into a maybe. And it don't take long till maybe turns to yes. Wave your magic wand to weave your magic spell. Promise her the heavens, and she'll follow her a smile and offered to buy her a beer. All you gotta do is look in her eyes and whisper some lines in her ear. I'm gonna cover you in gold, baby. I'm gonna keep you from the cold, baby. We're gonna have a lot of fun, baby. You're gonna be the only one, baby. Don't take much to turn a girl into a woman. Don't take much to set the devil in her free. All it takes is a cold-blooded, sweet-talking, jab-ass, motherfucking son of a bitch like me. Funny Valentine, sweet coming Valentine, you make me smile with my heart. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart? Don't change a hair for me, not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine, stay. Each day is Valentine's
Let me tell you, you have one of the smoothest voices I have ever heard
Thank you so
in
much.
my life. Good Lord, that was fantastic. And that control that you have from top to bottom, it's incredible. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, what? Oh man. So were you always like a theater kid, or was it something that came into your life recently, or were you always this way?
Was I always this way? I started out, my mom sang opera.
Okay.
When I was young, so I'd always like hear her practicing, hear her doing lessons, and then, I was like, I want to sing too. And so I started out singing classical music, opera, and of course, at that age, all I wanted to do was sing like R&B and pop and like all the hip stuff. And so I, just kind of studied that, and I was studying opera, but I was heavily listening to R&B and pop and jazz. And I just kind of branched out in musical theater. Just I also love to act and do all that stuff. And so musical theater just seemed like it just kind of fell right in my lap.
Right. Well, man, it's amazing seeing black men go up there and sing, especially like a song that was most that Frank Sinatra is known for, and to go up there and to sing it with such skill and to have this soul to it that you can't really get anywhere else unless you are a black man or a black woman, and that's gorgeous. During this whole pandemic, how do you scratch that theater itch that you have, that itch to perform and to get your voice out there? How do you scratch that?
It's not easy, but what I did do is I kind of in 2019 I had it just so happened that I bought a little PA system.
Okay.
And so I set it up. It's in my living room, and I give myself shows I perform. Here I go to YouTube and I'll pull up some karaoke tracks, and I'll just serenade the house.
Yeah. Do you get to like record it and put it online sometimes?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Other than that, there've been a lot. There's been an upspring of like local projects and things that people are starting. The quarantine has given a lot of people time to think.
Yes.
And it gives them the chance. It gave them a chance to okay, I think it's now or never. I'm gonna put my dreams out there. I'm gonna start this little project. I'm gonna have this table read. I'm gonna it just kind of builds off of that.
Right.
There's this service called Patreon that artists and other people can for anything you can
To support artists.
exactly
Yeah, absolutely.
you can put shows up there and put vocal classes up there. And people can subscribe to you and watch that content.
That's
So-
fantastic. So, like, one of the in order to have the control that you, ridiculously exhibited during those performances, in order to have that control, you have to really embody the character and know exactly what you're saying and why you're saying what you're saying, and that was quite clear. What is your process to just prepping yourself for performances like that?
Okay, it's so funny that you asked the question because this character he's like the villain, and I think as performers, as good people, it's so hard to play the bad guy. It's so hard to play the villain. And I remember when Khy was introduced the song to me, I was like, it's like he's cursing, he's talking about changing women, girls into women, and he's a pimp and all that stuff. For me, I guess with every song, with every monologue, there is intention, there's a goal, there's a purpose, and you have to realize that you can't judge the character. This character is doing this because he has to. This is his mindset. So you can't judge the character. You just have to kind of jump in and say, okay, this is who I am. What all the life experiences that I've had that if you don't have a backstory, you come up with a backstory to make it true, to make it right for you.
To find your sense of truth.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Heading into the final part of this year, 2020, if there's anybody listening right now that may be feeling down about 2020, maybe they're performers, maybe they were out on tour and now they're not, or maybe they had some gigs lined up and now they're not, because this is stuff that you've had to deal with. For the rest of 2020, if they're listening right now and they're looking for some sort of hope or feeling of positivity, what would you say to them?
I would say that it will get better. I would say that, each day is a gift and you have 24 hours to possibly change your life. You, all of your dreams that you've kind of had, that you kind of had to put on hold because of the busy life as a performer. We're constantly going from project to project, trying to figure out where we're going to eat next, what our next job's going to be. I'd say, write, create your own content, build your networks, build your friends because they're also probably in the same boat home and also in the same way. Come together, build, and put on your own shows. Just make it work. And yeah, definitely the network.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to bless us with that. And I hope I get to sing with you one day. Khy, make that happen. Make that happen.
Done.
Honestly, Victor, man, you are a blessing, and I'm so happy that we got to hear you sing today. So give it up one more time for Victor, my friends.
This young artist hails from West Orange. He recently completed a second national tour of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory as Mr. Beauregard. Other roles, notable roles, include the national tour of Showtime with Shakespeare. He played Enjolras in Les Miserables, Seaweed in Hairspray. He played the role of Bobby in Memphis at Smokey Joe's Cafe. You can also see him in the web series Outcast and this holiday season as Oogie Boogie in The Nightmare Before Christmas. Please give a warm welcome to my friend Brandon Mangan.
I never meant to make it such a mess. I never meant to have it go this far. So I just stand here, sorry, searching for something to say. Something to say. Words fail. There's nothing I can say. I guess I thought I could be part of this. I never had this kind of thing before. I never had that perfect girl who somehow could see the good part of me. I never had the dad who stuck it out. No corny jokes or baseball gloves. No mom who just was there because mom was all
just believe, then I don't have to see what's really there. No, I'd rather pretend I'm something better than these broken parts. Pretend I'm something other than this mess that I am. 'Cause then I don't have to look at it, and no one gets to look at it. No one can really see. 'Cause I learned to slam on the brake before I even turn the key. Before I make a mistake, before I live with the worst of me, I never let them see the worst of me. 'Cause what if everyone saw? What if everyone knew? Would they like what they saw? Or would they hate it too? Will I keep on running away from what's true? All I ever do is run. So how do I step into the sun? Step into the sun. Theodosia writes me a letter every day, keeping the bed warm while her husband is away. He's on the British side in Georgia, he's trying to keep the colonies in line. Well, he can keep all of Georgia, Theodosia, she's mine. Love doesn't discriminate between the sinners and the saints. It takes and it takes and it takes, and we can love it anyway. We laugh and we cry and we break and we make our mistakes. And if there's a reason, I'm by her side. So many have tried, and I'm willing to wait for it. I'm willing to wait for it. My grandfather was a fire and brimstone preacher, but there are things that the homilies and hymns won't teach her. My mother was a genius, a five command respect. When they died, they left no instructions, just a legacy to protect. Death doesn't discriminate between the sinners and the saints. It takes and it takes and it takes, and we keep living anyway. We laugh and we cry, we break and we make our mistakes. And if there's a reason, I'm still alive, and everyone who loves me has died. I'm willing to wait for it. I'm willing to wait for it. Wait for it. I am the one thing in life I can control. I'm inimitable, I'm unoriginal. I'm not falling behind or running late. I'm not standing still, I am lying wait. Hamilton faces an endless uphill climb. He has something to prove, he has nothing to lose. Hamilton's pace is relentless, he wastes no time. What is he like in his shoes? Hamilton doesn't hesitate, he exhibits no restraint. He takes and he takes and he takes, and he keeps winning anyway. changes the game, plays and he raises the stakes, and if there's a reason he seems to thrive, and so we survive, then God damn it, I'm willing to wait for it. I'm willing to wait for it. Life doesn't discriminate between the sinners and the saints, it takes and it takes and it takes. We rise and we fall, and if there's a reason I'm still alive, so many have died, then I'm willing to wait for it. Wait for it. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm good. I'm good.
So I gotta get right into it. Words fail. You are unapologetically black. Period. And the one thing that I really enjoy about you being unapologetically black is that it's okay to be that and not exclude everyone. And you still have a wide variety of friends. You have Asian friends, Latino friends, Caucasian friends, gay friends, straight friends. You are just, I follow you, man. I watch you, and I watch you navigate in our affinity group of these marvelous people, and you can still stand in your truth, tell the truth with your voice, with the passion that you have behind your singing and your acting abilities. When you chose this song, what was your purpose?
A lot. I mean, with the show, Dear Evan Hansen itself, there has only been one African American to play that role, and he barely got to play the role.
Yeah.
And I think especially for this type of show, where it deals with social anxiety and just like, I wouldn't say mental health, because it's real.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially for this role, I think there should be a wide variety of people, shapes and sizes, doing that role, that specific role, because everyone goes through the situations that that character has gone through. Another reason, I mean, like, the song just speaks to me just in life itself. There was a time where, you know, I felt, actually a year ago, where all of my friends were, you know, booking jobs and going out, doing great things, and I'm just like, well, damn.
Yeah.
Where, like, and I just felt like I was failing as an artist, and I also felt like I was failing as a human. And
That's deep. That's deep.
yeah. And I mean, it's actually funny that I'm performing today because it's actually been a year since I got the call that I was doing Charlie. So it's so many emotions right now. So
I remember being so excited for you. Like we're I'm hoping that this changes now that, I think you said it best, like now that we're woke. I'm hoping that it changes because there are so many African American men in this community, besides me and Kyrus and Howard, that I never get a chance to sit down and have discussions with, and that I don't get a chance to find out what's your story. Like, all of us have these stories, and your story is exactly like mine. The same thing where I'm watching all my friends who are booking these things, and I'm like, well, what? I didn't book my first thing until I was 27 years old. And I had the talent, I had the training, I had that whole thing behind me, and I didn't book anything until I was 27 years old. And I'm watching everyone else do it. So I feel like that resonates with me so deep. And then when you get it, you want to hang on to it for as long as you can because you don't know when it's going to happen again. You know, you don't know if you're going to go back to, now I'm going back to busting tables or working at the insurance office with my dad kind of thing. You know what I mean? You never know.
and that's where we go right now, which it like blew my mind that I didn't even think And I had just came back from an injury, and I had sprained my ankle the last city, and I was on a cast. I was out for the weekend, and came back. We did 2 shows, and then they're like, "We got to send y'all home." I'm like, "Well, I'm just getting back."
Where were you when that
We
happened?
were in Grand Rapids, in Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, and I was just devastated, just absolutely gutted that we stopped.
So now, excuse me, when that happens, do they buy out your contract or do they just go, goodbye?
Well, see, the plan was we were supposed to. They canceled the rest of our week in Grand Rapids. So, and then we were supposed to go to St. Louis for 2 weeks. So St. Louis had canceled. So they said, okay, well, we'll see you guys in Virginia. We were just gonna have a nice, like, 3 weeks off, and then, like, come back. So we were like, okay, great. And then Virginia canceled, and I said, okay, well, I'm gonna see what Washington, D.C. does. And once Washington canceled our week, I was like, okay, now we're done.
Done, yeah. Man. So, looking back on Brandon today, and looking like the person you are today, how different was the Brandon, the high school Brandon? Like, what was there? Is there a huge difference? Or are you still that same person? You just have a little more. You're a grown ass man. You're a grown man today. Like, what's the difference between those two?
A huge difference. My high school self, I was still trying to find who I was as a black man, trying to, most of my life I switched. Not necessarily code switching, but switching between being with the theater people and being with my black friends. And it got to a point where I was like, you know what? I think once I graduated, I was like, if people can't accept who I am and what I do, then they're not really my friends. Then they're not the people who I really need to associate myself with. So yeah, high school me was, and that younger, I was still, and I was a hothead. I thought that I was the best thing out there. I was like, well, people are gonna hire me, because.
How did you get humbled? Because I think you're a humble man now. How did you get humbled?
I think once I started seeing a lot of Broadway shows, and mostly a lot of the people that are there are like my friends now, just following their journey and seeing how long it took for them to get where they need to be, then I realized, okay, it didn't happen just like that. Like, it's actual hard work, and it is hard work.
It is.
It's
a
hard.
job. It's a vocation. You know, it's not like community theater where, you know, nothing wrong with community theater, but you audition, you go on a show for, you know, it's 3 weekends, you have 2 months of rehearsal, you treat it as your profession. You gotta go to bed early. There's partying, what is that? This is where the money maker is, you know what I mean? So you have to treat it as a business.
Absolutely.
You are a business.
Absolutely. So yeah, I really had to like sit down, and I also, Leslie Odom Jr., his book, Failing Up, got me through it. Like, got me through it. And it was, his book just opens you up, and seeing him as a young artist trying to navigate through Hollywood before he even decided to do theater. I mean, his first Broadway show was Rent, and he was, I think, 17 or 18 years old. And his next gig didn't come until, like, I want to say 2008, 2009. And it was just like, there's a long period of time where you just have to wait, which is why I did wait for it. That is another reason why you have to sit and think about what you're gonna do. I always say that I try to think 3-4 years ahead of where I'm gonna be. and make that plan and plan everything out.
Well, I'm honored to know you as slowly becoming my brother, and just like, I love the banter that we've started to develop. You're going to go somewhere far. Like, I feel it. I want you to look back on today with this conversation, 3 years from now, when you are working as the genie on Broadway. And just think of all these people that are standing behind you, rooting for you, because I am one of your biggest fans, and I'm absolutely rooting for you. It has been a pleasure getting to know you today.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your time with us.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Khy, what is happening right now? Is this something new?
I think Tay wants to talk to me.
Oh, man.
Hey, friend.
Hi, friend.
First of all, I'm glad I made it across the seat because I can't walk in these. Two, I'm here to interview you.
Interview me. Oh,
Hey, I have a few questions for you.
Yes.
They're cheap, so get ready.
okay. You know, we'll bring it back.
All right, so, as someone with a plethora of talent, who or what do you get your greatest inspiration from?
Well, there are several people that I get an inspiration from, and it's not even, I can't even say it's a person. It's an idea that my mom had put into my head when I was a little kid, that she was like, remember that you can do anything because you're Ruthie's kid. And that has always followed me. She would always say that to me and my four brothers, you're Ruthie's kids. And that just became a thing in the neighborhood. Or those, like if we were out somewhere and a bunch of kids were doing something and got in trouble, it would be, well, it wasn't those four, because those are Ruthie's kids. Because they know that Ruthie was, you know, she ruled with an iron fist. But my parents took me to see Pippin when I was a little kid. I was in the 70s. I'm dating myself. And Ben Vereen walked on stage. I thought it was a show about clowns, so I had no idea what was happening. Didn't understand the music, didn't understand the sexual humor. I'm like, Mom, Dad, why did you take us to this thing? But they thought it would be something fun to culture, give us culture. And I was mesmerized with Ben Vereen from the second he walked on stage to the second he left the stage. And I wanted to pattern myself after him because I hadn't seen anyone on stage that looked like him before. So my whole thought process was, I want to be like him. I want to be like him. So I just started looking him up, and my parents would bring home albums and like, well, here's another one, or here's a newspaper clipping of Ben Vereen. So a lot of times when I'm on stage, I'll have a secret thing in my head before going out. I'm like, I'm Ben Vereen. So that's something that, you know, maybe one day when I meet him, I'll tell him that I would walk out on stage and say, I'm Ben Vereen. And I would embody him and go out and do my thing. So Ben Vereen is one of my biggest people, shoulders that I stand on.
Yes, mantras. I can get with that. How do current trends or hot topics influence your work, if at all? I told
The
you.
stuff that is happening, what we're seeing today is just, I feel like I'm more than just a singer. I'm no longer a dancer, a singer, actor. I started writing 10 years ago, writing plays and like little one acts, and I would complete them and then put them away because I was afraid that I didn't have, you know, the proper schooling for that, you know, because there's a way that you're supposed to write as a screenwriter, there's a way that you're supposed to write as a playwright, and I didn't have that formal education to do that, but I just wanted to write and see what I could create. And I've noticed that everything that I've written revolves around hot button topics for today. I've written stories about rape. I've written stories about two gay men loving each other. Written stories about race relations. Because I'm not afraid to go there and tackle those things, because I'm the kind of artist that's like, if you're gonna hide behind something, you might as well stand behind the curtain and don't let the curtain open. So I try to live fearlessly, even though there's a lot of me that's still scared and I keep things closed off at the age of 52. I let my work be my tiger, if that makes sense. So I let my work be the aggression and work out my things that way. I'm in the middle of writing something now based around 2020. I don't know how it's going to be perceived, but when it's ready, I'm going to lay it down and hope that I get a good response. That's all I can do.
I will definitely be interested in that. Also, all your works, I didn't know that you, like, wrote and stuff.
Yeah, I've actually written 5 shows, put 3 of them up, won a Perry, and I'm going to just keep going. I'm trying to get one published because I need to get them all published before somebody steals them. So I'm actually working on publishing one right now. My good friend is helping me sit down and go through each character to make sure that I have all the spelling correct and all my punctuations. I don't want to hand something in and they're like, we're not publishing this. What is this mess? So, you know, I mean, it's a lot of work. But I also have a lot of people that I can lean on that know that side of the business. You know, Jared Kellner helps me a lot. You know, my friend Alyssa Valiante spell checks everything for me. Everything. And, you know, she lets me have my 3 dots. Dot, dot, dot. So it's just, you know, I just like putting my work out and hoping that it's going to reach an audience. That's all.
Yes. I like that. Well, I can't wait to see and hear more. What kind of change do you want to see at the community theater level? And how do we hold those responsible, or how do we hold them accountable for that?
Okay. Community theater for me has always been the place where I always said it's the rejects of the world. Like it's the one place where we can have the heavy girl, the guy who's too skinny, the guy that's too tall, the girl that's too short. You know, like the band of misfits that gets together and pulls together and puts on a show. And then lately, as I've grown in the theater, I've noticed these things start to split off where theaters only want the quote-unquote beautiful people. And then, okay, well, what does that mean, the beautiful people? I've actually been involved with a company that's no longer around. We were doing Smokey Joe's Cafe. And their board said, well, we're a little hesitant to do the show because, you know, our patrons think it's a black show. And we're, you know, we have a subscriber base that we need to pay attention to. So if we are not good enough to be characters on your stage all the time, you maybe need to open up your doors to include works that include us all the time. It's not enough to just do a season of shows that have one black character and then you're upset because you can't find that person because you're doing, you know, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, so you need that black man and you're gonna call Kyrus, or you're gonna call me and I'm too fat to play that role, or, you know, another young African-American male, and then we're not gonna show up. Because if you're not gonna offer us those opportunities to play other roles, and you're just gonna, you know, put up a show that just has that specific one role, you're not opening your audiences up to people of color. You know, more than just black. You know, if I see one more version of what's the show? Shall we dance? The King and I.
I was about to say.
I need to see The King and I with a lot of Asians. I need to see that. I need to see it with an Asian king. I need to see that. We all need to see that. We're out here. A lot of people stay away from shows because they're feeling, well, I'm not going to cast in that role. I know so many Asian men that would love to audition for that role. Open up your doors. Take a chance. You know, we're all about colorblind casting, yeah. You know, because the witch doesn't need to be a white woman in Into the Woods. It can be a man. We just saw it with a man, you know. It can be a black woman. It can be an Asian woman. Open your eyes to the possibility of casting differently. Because when you're ready to do these roles, if you hadn't opened your doors before, we're not coming. I know that I'm not showing up to an audition to a place that does not open the door for everyone. I will not be there. So let that be for all theater companies. You know, Howard just had a talk with a lot of people in the community on a Zoom call. And there were theater companies that really should have been there to get this information. And it was a really good call. You know, all different cultures with different Some people just wanted to sit and listen and just try to absorb and go, okay, we need to make a change. There were some people that really needed to be there. I'm going to call them out. I won't call them out by name, but I will call them out and say, what are you doing to help open the doors for everyone and not just a small niche of people? Their time is coming, the time is up. Open the doors for everyone. This theater is the one place where we can all be inclusive. Then let's do it and not pay lip service. Next.
And that's that on that. Period.
Period.
Okay.
Period.
So last question. This momentum is your baby. What was your goal when this idea came to you? Has it been met? What do you want people to get out of this?
The goal in the very beginning, when Brian and I were having this conversation, we quite didn't know we wanted to do something. Because Brian and I were having a conversation one day, it was right in the middle of all the turmoil that was going on for the summer. And we're just looking at how other theater companies were responding to what was going on. Because I think there was a call to arms or a call to action to have change in the theater. So then what did that mean, change in the theater? Union County Performing Arts Center has always had an open forum and always had a place where people of all colors were represented. There are shows here, the things that Brian books here. There's black performers, white performers, Asian performers, gay performers, straight performers. It's always been open for everyone. Not so much for other theater companies. So when we started to do Momentum, it just literally turned into, all right, well, we're doing the work, but we can actually even do more. What would that look like? So for me, it looked like giving a space to my friends in the community who are either up-and-coming artists who may not get the chance to sing a solo. They're in the background in the chorus. An up-and-coming artist who, just booked a tour and sang for a week and then the tour was canceled. An up-and-coming artist who, wants to battle stage fright, so just get in front of an audience. Or either an artist who's been out there for quite some time. We had Larry Street on here who's done several Broadway shows, and he was on a tour that got canceled. And he was like, I just wanted to offer a place where he could come, perform, have a discussion like this, because we never get to hear our stories. And I feel as if we're doing the job that I wanted to do, like your position being our resident vocalist with you and Howard. That came out of Brian's head like on a whim. Like what would that look like? How would we include them? Because you guys did such a great job on the first one. You're like, we should have someone that represents all of us, and I'm glad that you represent all of us. You're and I can't even say you're at the beginning of your career because you've done some things. You went to China.
I did.
China, of all places.
Absolutely.
China. So I feel like we're on our way. There are more things coming. I want to try and revamp Momentum a little bit to see what else we can dive into. I think there are more things coming, and I'm happy with the progress that it's made. This is our third episode. Yes. And I'm calling them episodes because I feel like this is a talk show that gives a platform to vocalists and artists. I want some dancers. I want someone to come and do spoken word. I want a juggler. I want a saxophone player to come. Just giving a space for someone to present their work, have us appreciate it, and have a wonderful conversation about why they're doing it.
Yes, I love that. Also, thank you so much for having me. I love you so much.
I love you very, very much. You are my little sister. Love you. Thank you for being a part of this.
Of course. Thank you for letting me sit down and interview you. I'm going to take 15 minutes to get off the stage.
Yes. Okay. Our next artist is Miss Sandra Ward. Sandra Ward was last seen in Ain't Misbehaving, Smokey Joe's Cafe, and Memories of Motown. I think I met her for the first time when she did the Perry Award nominated on the Mountaintop. And right now, she's been nominated for a Perry for Outstanding Featured Artist in 2019 for Death of a Salesman. Please give a warm welcome for Sandra Ward.
They say nothing lasts forever. Well, I wish that were true. 'Cause this aching in my heart won't go away. They say everything must change. They say that time will see you through. Well, I listened and I prayed for that day. But I wake up with this anger, and the pain won't let me be. And the smile I share is only there for show. And if I hang on to this heartache, then my soul will not be free. So I'll keep trying, but I just cannot let go. I can't let go. I need you to remind me. I can't let go, or I'll just repeat the past. 'Cause when your arms are saying yes, I feel my heart keep saying no. I wanna love you, but I just cannot let go. I have lived through bad beginnings, and I've seen unhappy ends. So I close the book before the story starts. I'm just a witness to my lifetime, and I'm a stranger to my friends. I'm a trafficker of broken, damaged hearts. Now you've asked me to start over, but it's easier said than done. And the memories are strong when they arise. And when heartaches come a-calling, I won't even try to run. 'Cause it's all I have to know that I'm alive. I can't let go. I need you to remind me. I can't let go, or I'll just repeat the past. When your arms are saying yes, I feel my heart keep saying no. I wanna love you. I wanna love you. I want to love you, but I can't let go. No, I can't let go. Won't you help me to let go? How can I forget all the things you have done for me? Things so undeserved, yet you gave to thee. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. To God be the glory for the things He has done. With His blood, He has saved me, and with His power, He shall raise me. To God be the glory for the things He has done. Just let me live my life and let it be pleasing, Lord, to Thee. And if I can any praise, let it go to Calvary. With His blood, He has saved me, and with His power, He shall raise me. To God be the glory for the things He has done. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. To God be the glory for the things He has done. With His blood, He has saved me, and with His power, He shall raise me. To God be the glory for the things He has done. To my God be glory, yeah, yeah. To God be the glory and honor and power forevermore, forevermore. Yeah. For the things He has done.
Okay, look. When there is an anointing on your voice, like yours, do you realize as an artist that it is something bigger than you? That it is something greater than you? that there's a purpose for which you have been created. Do you find yourself as an artist that when you step out of that are you ever like, oh, I'm impressed that I did that? Or do you remain in the humble space? Like, because that was a blessing. To me, that's what a blessing looks like, what it sounds like, and what it does. So, talk to me.
I just always say, God, sing through me, so that He's glorified, whether it be traditional gospel, contemporary gospel, whether even through theater, because when I can put a smile on someone's face and stir and move the heart of mankind with a song, then I know that God is pleased, because God is a God for all people. And so it blesses me to know that I can be able to give back to society, to the community, to the theater, to the arts in that magnitude, because God is all-faceted. He's given each and every one of us all these creative gifts. You know, they come from Him. He created us. So whatever that calling is, or whatever your gifting is, you do it to the best of your ability as He has enabled you to do so. So after I do sing a song, I just say, Lord, everything that you give me through the people, I give it right back to you, because I want you to be glorified, because it wasn't mine to begin with. He ordained it, so, but I didn't just go out picking it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just, I'm humbled by it. I really am.
I can tell that. Being a person that's in theater and a show person, and also being a Christ-centered person, sometimes for me it was hard to walk the balance of wanting to do what you said, serving a higher purpose than me, but also doing it right.
Yeah.
Having someone like it, because you don't want to go out there and sound, okey doke. You want to give your best performance. I would always, even to this day, even if it's just me going out and singing, some jazz, Christ is there.
Yes.
If I'm going out and singing some rock and roll, singing R&B, Christ is there. I need Him to show up so that I can show out.
Yes.
Show up and show out. I noticed that when I first met you, you were dressed as an angel. It was in that show. I think I even stopped you and I was like, who are you? I don't know you. And you were dealing with, you were ill that day. I think you were ill at one of the performances. And had someone not mentioned it, I would not have known. Because you were like, okay, this is where I am today. Because you've been singing hard for a week. I think I saw your closing performance. And you had been singing hardcore for 3 weekends. It was the last night. And I remember you came out and you belted your face off. And I was sitting in the back. And I just happened to look at Diane, and tears were just pouring down my face. I didn't want anybody to see me. I was just like, oh, man. You had moved me so much that that's why I had to come and get you and go, who are you? And how can we be friends on Facebook? And what's going on? How do you respond when people come to you with, you touched me, oh my God, you touched me, and I was going through something, and something in your words hit my spirit. Is that your intention, to go out and hit people's spirits? Or is it just, He shows up and whatever comes out just comes out?
I do have a purpose to really touch the hearts of man. Because I really, when people come up to me and say things like that,
they have to.
I am truly humble. I'm humble and I'm honored that I could be a blessing to them. That means more to me than anything, because even though, that's why I even admire, this program, because even though there's so many wonderful artists out there, but not every artist can be on television.
Right. Or wants to be on television.
Right, exactly. But when people come up to me in that magnitude, and if I have touched their heart, or touched their lives, or a place in their heart where they may be going through a challenge and it ministered to them, ministered life to them, where they go into the theater one way and leave another way just because of a song that God sang for me. I am truly blessed. At Khy, I am more blessed than they am, because they don't realize how much they blessed me that I delivered what I was supposed to deliver. You know, because anybody can really sing a song. Are you going to deliver that song? Deliver it to my heart. And so I try to pick songs that stir the hearts of man, because music changes the atmosphere of wherever you may be. It can change the atmosphere of your emotions, you know, of your heart, the atmosphere in a physical building. Music is powerful, and that music comes from God. You know, He's creator of all gifts and music and things. So I am humble. Like I said, when the people come up to me and they give me that bouquet of flowers, all I can do is say, Lord, here, they belong to you. I just give them right back to Him. But thank you, yes. I'm really honored and humbled by that.
Awesome. If you could, in parting words, if you had something that you could tell another young girl who's 12 years old, just starting out on her vocal journey, and she's struggling with being hip with the cool kids and wanting to still devote her life over into a Christ-like way, how would you have her walk? What would you tell her to walk the fine line of, you know, being a social person, but still being engaged with her church and community?
I would say to that young lady, only be who God created you to be. He created you to use your giftings and your voice and whatever you have to give to impart to mankind, and just use it in a manner of wisdom. Everything that everybody is doing is not meant for you.
Yes.
Everything that everybody is singing is not meant for you. I would say to that young lady to just get before God and know your calling. And don't try to please man. Please God first, because when you please God first, He opens the doors through man to welcome your gift. Okay? The gifts and callings of God are without repentance. So that means God is always for you. He's never against you. And He has called you, young lady, to be a witness, to be a light, to be an inspiration to the gifts that He has placed in those people who are around you. And those people who have been around you, they may not even know church or God or anything like that. The only God that they may see is the God in you. So you just love them with your gift. Don't try to be like anybody else. You be the best person that you can be. Because if you're going to try to be like somebody else, then you won't be necessary anymore.
Amen.
So you be who you want. You be who God has ordained you to be, and be the best, whatever your name is, the best Sandra, the best Khy, the best whoever you know God has made you to be. That's what I would say to that young lady.
Thank you for continuing to be a blessing in my life. Someone heard you today, and someone's not going to commit suicide because of what you just did. Someone's going to devote and turn their life over to Christ today because of what you just laid out for us. Thank you for being my friend.
Thank you so much, Khy. Thank you. It was an honor.
This next artist is someone that I met 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago when she auditioned for my show, Porgy and Bess, that we did here. I always get a kick out of speaking with her. We keep each other laughing at stitches. She is just so funny. And then to have her open her mouth and see how serious she is. She is an accomplished actress. She's an accomplished singer. She sings jazz, she sings opera, she sings classical, she sings, her wealth of knowledge in music is very, very impressive. She's done tours. I mean, later on when she's interviewed, she'll tell you all about it. Please, just a big welcome for Ms. Shari Gill.
You're stuck with me this time.
That's just fine.
Oh man, you never, ever cease to amaze me. I remember the first time that I heard you perform and then saw you perform, I believe it was during Icon, that I got to see you perform, and I was like, what is happening? And I was like, I was like, I'm in the competition with you, and I'm like, I'm rooting for her. How are you holding up during the pandemic world?
I feel like I'm holding up how most people are trying to just rethink their careers and how they utilize their time and money, or just in general. Especially as a musician, I've had to change gears real quick.
Sure. And without notice sometimes, it's just like, oh yeah, I have to make a decision right now.
And stick with it, and that's what's scary, because it's like we're now in a situation where we have to learn how to do certain things ourselves, or figure out certain things where we kind of have to just do them without fear that it's going to crash and burn.
Right.
And it's even scarier when you can't leave your home.
Yeah. Has that been like, I guess, a motivational thing for you in 2020? It's like, okay, I have to shift gears here. I'm scared, but I'm motivated. Is that the mindset that you've been taking?
Absolutely. It's been very much in the sink or swim.
Yeah.
I've been through so many things in general.
Yeah.
And surgeries and other things that made me feel like, when I go out and I'm trying to regain my confidence, and then pandemic.
Yeah.
And I literally told myself and gave myself a choice. I was like, I can throw myself 100% into my art and hope that this does something and helps to sustain me,
Sure.
or I can just run scared and do something else and just be unhappy and afraid.
Right.
And so far, it's been going pretty well.
Right.
It's been going well to actually throw myself in there. And it's sad that it took the pandemic for me to go throw myself in 100%.
Right.
Stop doing the flip flop.
Right,
You believe in your talent, or you don't.
I tell people all the time, I think 2020 is what you make of it.
Right.
You know, like it's easy for us to sit here sometimes and be like, oh, 2020 sucks, right?
Listen, I've wanted to beat her with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Since 2020 started.
Oh,
I was
absolutely.
like, I was about to roll up on her, but
Like, knock on the door, it's me, I'm here, let's go.
listen, I was like, I'm real tired of 2020.
Right. But you're finding a way to do your thing still, and to make these bold choices, and to take your life up to the next level.
Absolutely, probably even doing more than
Yeah.
I was doing even before, because I'm like,
Right.
I'm here, I'm doing it, and I just need to push as hard as I can.
Right. And Khy mentioned in your intro, you sing all different types of genres. Right?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite that you like to sing?
Actually, I like doing jazz a lot because of the nonsense you get to do.
Yeah.
At least I call it a musical nonsense.
Yeah, but just the freedom that you have.
You don't even have to say words. You can come in and just
Right, you can just scat it out.
Literally, and call it a day. You're like just 2 hours of scatting. You're like, that's my song. Thank you.
Right, it's like, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Tip the jar. Tip.
Right.
Thank you.
So for other people that are in your position, because obviously there are a lot of Black artists that may be feeling the same way that you feel in regards to what they can offer people, the variety of skills that they have, the genres that they can sing, all of this. Yet we're in this weird world that we're in right now. If there's any young Black artist that's listening right now that may be looking for some sort of just guidance or just some words of encouragement as they end out this year and head into 2021, which is weird to say, oh my gosh, it's almost the end of this year. As they head into the end of this year and the beginning of next year, what would you say to them if they're listening right now?
I would say your ideas are valid enough. You are smart enough, and if you think that you can figure out a way to do what you want to do it, and don't let someone tell you that you're not old enough or you're not smart enough, or there's not enough resources, or that may be too much. It's not. If you want it, like, it doesn't even hurt to try. The worst thing is
it just doesn't work out.
Right.
And you have to just try again or try something else.
Absolutely. I one day, this is another person kind of make this happen. I want to sing with her.
I'm ready.
Let's go. Let's do it. I'm so blessed to be sitting across from you and to once again hear you perform, and I can't wait to hear you
Same to you,
again.
directing, doing everything.
I try my
You
best.
slick.
I try my best. Do a little thing every now and then. Yeah, right. But no, I'm so fortunate to know you, and I can't wait to see what's next for you. And I'm rooting for you. I'm always
Thank you
rooting
so
for you.
much.
So
You also.
yeah, oh,
Can't
thank
wait
you.
to duet.
It's gonna happen.
Listen, I got software.
Khy, make it.
I got.
He has thematic skills with it. So, Sherry, everybody, Sherry, go. Thank you so much. Oh no!
It's about that time.
Oh boy! What is this outfit? I'm a fan.
Well, I wanted to have my 2020 interview outfit.
Oh boy!
Tonight, so we can sit and have a little discussion so that everyone can know Kyrus Keenan Westcott.
Oh Lord!
Just that much.
They're not sick of me at this point.
Now, actually, I wanted to start out with this. When we started this whole thing, when Khy called you and y'all started putting this all together, the main motivation was to serve as, not only to give more exposure to Black voices, but also to serve as an inspiration to future generations.
Yeah.
Who inspired you to become a performer?
That's a very good question because I got into theater for the wrong reasons. Because I got into it for a girl, a white girl. Because I was like, oh, she's doing this cool show? Oh, I guess I'll give it a shot. I was a basketball player, and I'm like, oh, she's cute, I'll give it a shot. So why I got into it initially, not a good reason, but since then, I'm glad that did happen because it ended up introducing me to a world that I didn't know existed.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know theater. I was an athlete, and I thought, like, theater, like, back in the day, I was told theater was gay. That's what I was told.
Yeah.
And I didn't know any better, right? But little did I know how ignorant that was. And how that world that I was now introduced to and welcomed into with open arms would end up being my lifeblood. And that I couldn't, it's be dumb for people to have such an ignorant thought such as that. So the people that inspire me are people that hustle every single day. I read stories every single day. It's not necessarily the celebrities, because obviously there's celebrities and stuff like that, but like the artists that are working hard every single day to make it to Broadway, to get that audition, to go, like to hear their stories. Those are the people that inspire me, because I know that they're working their butt off every single day. Yeah.
Very good. And you are also an inspiration to so many other people. Honestly, just watching you perform.
I try. I just want to make people happy. I want to make people smile. I want to give people a sense of hope sometimes. And I know that sometimes, and I hear this a lot from some of my friends that can speak openly with me. They're like, Khy, you are always just so full of energy and good vibes. And it gets annoying sometimes. and like that's okay, because I'd rather people be annoyed with me for my good vibes than annoyed with me because like I'm an a-hole.
People are going to be annoyed with that.
Right, and so it's okay. And like, I really, it happened earlier, the line in Wait For It, I'm the one thing in life I can control. Like, that is my mantra. That is how I go about, and I want to control me in a way that I can uplift other people to the best of my ability.
All right. Now, if you could give one piece of advice to your past self, like
Yeah.
think back, what would you say?
Stop eating so many honey buns. It's not good for your health. Because I'm a little obsessed. I would say to myself to stay patient, and to always be curious and to get the knowledge that you seek. I never walk into any situation thinking that I'm the smartest person in the room or that I'm the most talented person in this room, but I know damn well that I will leave that situation being way more knowledgeable and knowing every single person there and knowing what I need to do personally to take myself up to the next level. That's what I would tell myself. Be patient and seek knowledge.
Yeah, you've got to be open to learning.
Yes, absolutely. And if you're not, then what's the point? Then you hit this plateau And then like, where are you gonna go from there? What's the point,
If
you know?
you're not seeking to better yourself.
Absolutely.
Truly.
Yes, yes.
Are there any roles that you have already done that you'd like to revisit, or any roles like as we're going forward, you're like, well, I really want to do this once lockdown is over, we can actually perform again?
Yeah, there's a couple. I would love to play Cool House again. With the first time I played Cool House, I was very young, and I was like, make them hear you. Like my voice didn't even drop yet. Like I was like, God, what am I singing right now? I had no idea what I was talking about. But then I got to play them a couple years ago, and this was before everything that has been going on now in this movement. I would love to play Coal House again right now and to tell that story right now. Because that show takes place in, what, 1902? And the themes in that show are so incredibly relevant in 2020, it's not even funny. And I would love to tell that story again. Yeah, so definitely Coal House that's probably at the top of my list for roles to play in.
Fantastic. And you're completely right about the connection to today. When I directed it a few years ago, that was, I directed a concert version of the show, and that was one of the big things to tie it into what was going on at the time, because we did it, honestly, we opened literally a month after Philando Castillo got shot.
Wow, okay. Yeah,
And we're like, this is, like you said, it's just as resonant.
Absolutely. Yeah, if I could revisit that, I would in a heartbeat. Something big happened.
Nice. All right. Okay, I have one last question for
Yes.
you. Now, people of color have created so many productions and so many companies, really to give other people of color a chance to showcase the skills that they have that haven't been put aside before. Honestly, that's what this is in reality. What would you like to see going forward to involve true integration within the arts? Like, and I'm thinking like the Academy Awards just put in rules if you want to be considered for Best Picture that you need to meet some of these criteria.
Yes.
What would you like to see?
I think that's a good start, but I think the most important part of what you just said was the very first thing that you said, which was people of color organizing all of it. Because to me, it's more than just casting. Like, we could sit here and be like, we were talking about backstage, we could sit here and be like, oh, let's do an all-black production of Little Mermaid. That'd be great, right? But if the people calling the shots are all white people, if that board is all white people, during that production and all future productions, then like, it's a nice gesture, thanks. But like, what are we doing to improve from there? We need more people of color being our stage managers, being our producers, being our directors, being our production managers, being our sound operators, our lighting. Like, that is where the true integration comes, because I feel like the main mistake that people make right now in community theater New Jersey is thinking that the race problem that we have, the inclusion problem that we have, is strictly on this stage. That it's casting people to be on the stage. Cute, but not true. It needs to be all around. So the very first thing that you said, people of color making decisions, doing pieces that are written by people of color, that's where it's really going to take off.
Awesome.
I've thought about this.
Yeah, clearly you have some strong opinions on it.
Just a little bit.
But look, that's what we need. We need strong opinions from strong men like you.
I tried my best, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for sitting with me today.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I love you.
Take care.
Yes.
We've got another singer coming.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I'm trying to hold my breath. Let it stay this way. Can't let this moment end. You said
today, but I let her wear it today instead.
I have it in taupe.
Yeah, I have it in a bunch of colors too, yellow, blue, but I didn't want to take away her thunder. Anyway, so our final performer today is a South Jersey Philly boy just like me, and I'm happy that we get to come up here to North Jersey, even though y'all call yourselves Central Jersey. No, this is North Jersey to me. He is an actor, he is a singer, he is a recording artist. You can find his work on Apple Music, on Spotify. I had the pleasure of directing him in a production of The Wiz last year. And he's my friend. He's my friend, and he's here, and I'm happy to hear him sing. So without any further ado, please welcome to the stage my good friend, Mr. Bo Emerson.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, that bright blessed day, that dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow are pretty in the skies, are all on the faces of people walking by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Said I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
What's up, man?
What's going on?
You are slick. Look at you. Look at you.
I'm trying to be like you when I grow up.
First of all, you have way too much hair. If you're trying to be like me,
Well, I'm gonna dispute that.
I'm so happy that you got to come up here and perform, because obviously we're some South Jersey boys.
Yes.
Philly.
Yes.
That's right. We got Philly
Philly
now,
all day.
You know, all day. What has the pandemic life been like for you in 2020?
The pandemic life has been challenging in terms of being a performer, because you're so used to having the energy of the crowd, and all of a sudden that was just cut to a halt.
Yeah.
And then having to work from home, and then you're seeing your loved ones all the time. People get on your nerves when you see them day in and day out. But I think with the advent of doing things virtually, I've been able to be a part of different Zoom rehearsals and filming things that way. So I think it's introduced us, especially the artists, to a new way of doing things. And also, it actually presents another source of income because there are, as you see, commercials with people with their masks on and things like that. So at first, it was a little jarring, I think, for most of us performers and actors and things like that. But you know, like anything, you adapt. And so
yeah,
you're
one of the few performers that I know from a theater standpoint that has an active career on the screen as well, and filming and all of that. Do you take the things that you learned from your theater experience and apply that to your screen acting at all?
Oh yes, most definitely. I think the number one thing that I've gotten from theater is to just be prepared, but also stay open to things happening on a whim. You know, being a performer yourself, you know, sometimes when you're doing live theater, things happen. You have to be able to switch it up on a dime. But yeah, definitely theater, a training ground of definitely tolerance and being seen, a lot of diverse casts, I would say. So yeah, I think I've been able to take the theater training and apply it in terms of being prepared, knowing your lines, not being afraid to mess up sometimes, because I think we, as performers, we're so afraid to mess up in front of people. When you're doing theater, it's like, listen, I forgot the line, I cracked up that note, I didn't do that run that well. Okay, toss it out, keep going, doesn't mean you're not talented, just work harder and stay prepared.
Right. As a black man in 2020, there has been a lot of conversation about the black man in America in 2020, to say the least. What is it like for you right now in this climate as a black man? Just in general.
I can tell you that it's mentally exhausting some days because we're not necessarily given the freedom to react as our other counterparts, you know, because if you raise your voice, you want to be seen as the angry black man, or if you see something that's prejudice or you experience some type of racial injustice, you know, for another group of people to tell you how you should feel.
Yes.
I think people overstep in that respect. But there's also been a lot of love. I've seen a lot, especially with social media, with, you know, Black Lives Matter and, you know, protecting black women and, you know, just minorities in general that have banded together in support of people of color and primarily black people, because we are, for all intents and purposes, probably the most disrespected group of people throughout history, even though we've contributed so much to the blood, sweat, and tears of this beautiful country of America.
Right.
It's exhausting sometimes, but they're very, very good moments.
But you feel hopeful?
Oh yes, yeah, definitely optimistic.
You are probably one of the most ambitious people that I know, most determined. You are always doing something, like you are really good at creating your own opportunities. What's next for you? You've done so much so far. What is next for you? What's the next level that you want to take yourself up to?
Just being more present on the screen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what money's at, you know what I'm saying?
Of course. But then also using my platform to, as I grow, I believe in helping the tribe, I believe in ecosystems. So as I succeed, I would like to definitely knock down doors, break barriers for other people of color, and bring them into rooms that they may not have a chance to sit in, and also encourage people to build your own table and they will come. If you're talented, if you work hard, you don't even have to be the most talented person, but if you work hard, you will get to where you want to go.
Amen. Amen. One day I want to go shopping with you, because you might not know this man. I know this man. I've known him for years. I've never seen him like dressed down. This is what he wears to bed.
Yep.
And so I want to go shopping with you. I want to know what it's like for the Bo Emerson shopping experience.
Well, you know, be careful what you wish for.
Oh, see, okay. All right, I don't know if I got money like you know, so we'll see. Well, man, I'm so happy that you got to perform here, and I get to sit and talk with you and all of that.
It's been a minute.
I know it's been a minute. Don't make sure after the show, don't leave, because I want to film a TikTok with you, okay?
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're gonna get TikTok. Thank you, Bo Emerson, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.
God, that was a good show, man.
That was amazing.
That was like from good people.
And as I sit here, as we close, now I'm inspired to do something even grander. The idea just popped into my head that the next momentum we do, I want to feature artists under the age of 18.
Let's do it.
I want to bring in these up-and-coming kids.
There are some talented young artists.
Give them a shot and let them start practicing those interview skills. You know, I mean, it's to give them that shot. Something that the three of us were talking about backstage. We have to expose them to these things. I wasn't given this platform at 18. You know, I sound like I took a couple of English classes because I completed, you know, my high school equivalency. You know, I went to college. But I want to open up even more. I want this next group of kids to come in and have, you know, take a look at Howard, take a look at Tay, take a look at you, take a look at Teddy, to see here's the possibility. You know, we're not on Broadway yet. We're not
the day is young, my friend.
But I want them to see what is possible.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make that my mission for the next installment, the next episode. I want to use artists under the age of 18. 18 and under, high school kids, just to bring them on and let them have this experience. And just start a new conversation. I want to hear what's going on in the community. I'm 52 years old. You know, trying to keep up with like my nephew and some of the younger kids. They're using language now that I have to check and go, wait, Urban Dictionary, what is that? What is that?
That's me every day.
What does that term
every
mean?
day.
You know, so I want to get, someone told me it's not hip to say the word hip anymore. Like, I want to get hip.
No,
can't say that anymore.
You can't say that anymore.
And so I'm looking forward to putting that together. So help me get some kids up in here.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us with this episode, and keep a lookout for the next one to come. Thank you, and have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today.